week feels long and the skies turn gray. The sports bar's warmth makes the worries sway. Chips half eaten, laughter fades in the air, but we hold on a moment, a treasure so rare. We'll laugh through the tears as the night unfolds, creating memories like stories retold. Raise your glasses high, let's make a toast to friends and good vibes, that's what we love most. With games on the screen and snacks on the side, at the sports bar we gather, let the fun be our guide. As the jukebox plays, familiar tunes start to play. Each note, a reminder of friends who couldn't stay. Wings gone cold, but we savor the vibe in the heart of the night, our spirits revive. So here's to the past and the friends we've known. In this funky bar, we'll never be alone. Raise your glasses high, let's make a toast to friends and good vibes, that's what we love most. With games on the screen and snacks on the side, at the sports bar we gather, let the fun be our guide. Out and the lights grow dim, we'll carry this joy through thick and thin.
Hey. Hey, what's going on, Charles? Yeah, to the stage. What's going on? Yeah.
I'm hanging in there.
Yeah, man. Hey, listen, another day in sports, man. So welcome to the Swivel of the Sports Ball. Hello, everybody out there. If you're listening, hit that like button on the way in. That helps me with the algorithm. And we're going to talk a little bit of sports. Now, we're all going through a little bit of post NFL blues, but we had the All-Star game, which didn't the whole All-Star weekend wasn't the best. Let's put it to you that way. Anyway, disclaimer, I gotta say that right away. Fair use for all the stuff and material I'm going to use. So let's jump right into it, man. So how you doing, Charles?
I'm hanging in there, man. Just quiet day at home, just chilling.
Yeah.
And much else.
Well, how much All-Star weekend did you check out?
Well, I missed the NBA, the dunk contest. I heard one guy won it 3 straight years, and he doesn't even look like a dunker.
Well,
so I don't know what's going on.
Listen, man. He won 3 years in a row. He can't even stay on a roster.
That's what I'm saying.
Serious. They had to go ahead and dig him out and say, "Listen, we need somebody for." You can't. He played all of 5 minutes on a team on like a 10-day contract or something like that. 5 minutes.
No, what is it, like 6'1", 6'2"?
Yeah, he got some hops. But can you imagine that from the days of the dunk contest to now they got to find a guy, bring him back, off the bread line once every year?
How come those guys in the NBA don't participate more, man? I mean, you got guys that can dunk in the NBA, man.
Yeah, but they don't participate because there's nothing in it for them. Everything is a marketing thing. Right? They look. Let me tell you, the fact that LeBron never went into the dunk contest should haunt him more, right?
Yeah.
Just think about it. But he's looking at if they don't win, what does that do to my brand? That's all he cares about. What if this is a losing thing, what does that do to my brand? That's all he cares about.
I think when you go in the dunk contest, you get some nice posters. That can also help out. That could also help your brand. If you make a nice dunk, even if you don't win, it's a poster, man.
Well, we're talking about LeBron James, man. He's measured with almost everything he does, man. So anyway, let me go ahead and show you a little bit of just one guy's thought about what he wants to do with the All-Star game, and I don't disagree with some of his ideas. So we're gonna kind of do a reaction video to his short tape.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So
All-Star weekend just came to a conclusion last night, and to put it shortly, The NBA All-Star Weekend just came to a conclusion last night, and to put it shortly, it was embarrassing for the NBA. So in this video, we are going to talk about what's wrong with the event, what can be done to improve it, analyzing the history of the NBA All-Star Weekend and how that correlates to what we see today. I'll start off with what is easiest: hating. The All-Star Game tournament was a failure. It was supposed to make it more competitive, and to a certain degree, it seemed like that worked. The biggest flaw with this system, though, is we barely got to see any All-Star Game basketball. With a target score of 40 and single-game elimination tournament, the most any team scored was 83 points. Even in the very first All-Star Game in 1951, the losing team scored 11 more points. The most playing time of any player was the home court favorite Stephen Curry with 24 minutes. And on the even worse end of that tale, the first-time All-Star and rising superstar Cade Cunningham only played 5 minutes on a team with 7 players, which means the NBA missed out on a perfect opportunity to promote a rising star in the league. For Christ's sake, Mr. Beast spent more time on the court than him. Speaking of celebrities, the NBA made Kevin Hart the focal point of tonight's commentary. Yeah, he had some fun.
Okay. Look at everybody. The guy's like a midget in the middle of all these guys. Even to Stephen Curry.
They should ban him from future All-Star game. I'm serious. Ban him. He's really cracking. It's just ain't even funny, you know.
Yes, I can't imagine just this picture where he look, man. You know what? He made Curry look like he's 9 feet tall.
Funny out-of-pocket moments like comparing Shaq to a porn director. This would have been a great addition in 2010, but it is 2025, and in reality, Kevin Hart has more influence in the P. Diddy case than in the NBA. There are so many more great and relevant guests they could have had. There are newer and funnier comedians, but also considering the young demographic of the NBA, I think it would have been wiser and they would have had better feedback if they brought in an NBA content creator. If you want to like family, go for someone like King. You want to do numbers on social media? Go get Shaq. There is a long list of names they could have and should have gone with that don't include Kevin Hart. But my point being, the NBA is out of touch with its fan base in 2025, and once again, they shot themselves in the foot. And another big thing I did not like about this year's
let me see the roster, the player roster. Okay.
All-Star Game was the team selection process. What quote-unquote happened was the TNT crew drafted their 3 teams, which conveniently ended up being a team of OGs, young stars, and foreigners. In reality, Shaq, Chuck, and Kenny were doing what they were forced into doing to try to bring hype to the weekend. I think the average IQ person can see right through this scheme, and it made the NBA look corny, and it made the teams uneven. All right, getting off of the All-Star Game itself, the skills competition started off with Wemby and CP3 outsmarting the competition by chucking their shot attempts up as quickly as possible without even trying to make it. Since after you attempt 3 shots, you can move on to the next phase of the game, which resulted in them being disqualified. Some drama about this including a representative of the NBA denying the main All-Star correspondent an interview with the mentioned players. So now the NBA looks like a joke for having players trying to cheat a skills competition, and on top of that, the NBA looks like no fun league, thanks to this guy who no one knows. The dunk contest would have been a disaster.
You know what? First of all, who would actually tell them to don't try to make the shots? Did they look like idiots?
That's what I'm saying. That makes no sense.
This shit was stupid.
I would ban them both from the All-Star game next year.
I mean, and then this nondescript guy comes down. He's actually admonishing them for not actually trying. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, they're trying to be cool, and this guy's like treating them like kids. Man, I can't believe CP3 was a part of that.
That's what I mean. As a veteran, I'm surprised too.
Disaster if not for Mac.
Maybe said it was funny
once again, who has only played 5 minutes in the NBA this year and since 2023. There are other selections like Andre Jackson Jr. and Montes Buzelis were struggling to even complete the dunk before their time was up. This brings me to my final hating point, which is that the crowd was dead and non-existent. Every time I looked into the crowd, I saw empty seats all over the place. I kept thinking to myself, oh, well, it's like a UFC event. The rich people own all the seats you can see, and they won't show up until the main events. But no, I never saw a packed house at any point, and I watched every event. The official attendance for the All-Star Game was 17,539. It was hosted at Chase Center, which has a seating capacity of 18,064 for basketball events. which would mean they were at 97% capacity. But I find that hard to believe. Regardless of how filled up the arena was, it sounded empty for most of it, which has to do with a major problem in the NBA in general. The real fans cannot afford to get into the arena, but that's a problem for another day. But let's go back in time and analyze the history of the NBA All-Star Weekend. The event was first held in Boston in 1951. It was a huge success for the league and saw...
Okay, he's going to go through some of the history real fast. It's educational, so I thought this would be just good to kind of showcase how this thing evolved.
Attendance like never before. The slam dunk contest was first held by the ABA in 1976. The ABA/NBA merger happened right after, and the NBA held the dunk contest again in 1977, then decided to discontinue it until 1984. For modern standards, the bar was low, but fans loved it. It was one of the highlights of the year that produced iconic photos and lore, and the NBA never turned its back on it again. In 1986, the first three-point contest was created to give the white guys a chance at winning something besides some thirsty sponsorship grabs like the Starry Ball. The contest hasn't changed much, and I don't think it needs to. In 1994, the Rising Stars Challenge was added, which started off as only rookies. It eventually became rookies versus second-year players. Then it changed again to include the same experienced players, but pitted against each other as Team USA versus Team World. Then once again, it changed to a drafting process of rookies and sophomores, which is pretty much as we know it today. And finally, the last main event still existing, the Skills Challenge, was added in 2003. It changes like the weather, and quite honestly, it's a joke. But that's not all I want to
cover. Now, the original skills contest was like what he's doing right now. It was pretty good.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's kid, man.
The NBA All-Star Weekend. I think it is very important to take a look at the selection process of NBA All-Stars. From 1951 to 1960, 20 players were selected for the game between 11 teams, meaning on average 1.8 players per team were to be included. In 1961, they added 4 more players to be selected for a total of 24 All-Stars, with just 8 teams in the league, meaning on average 3 players per team were made an All-Star. 64 years later, and 22 teams have been added to the league, and we still only elect 24 All-Stars, which gives us 0.8 All-Stars per team. How does that make any sense? Every year, it feels like there are all-star caliber players that are snubbed from the event, and that's because there is. We don't have enough slots available because we're still following Jim Crow era rules. We have a fan vote that accounts for 50% of the selection process. This year, LaMelo Ball received the most votes of an Eastern Conference.
Look at this. This right here, LaMelo Ball has 500,000 more votes than the top guy from the fan, and he didn't make the team.
Wow.
Even Damian Lillard,
Yeah, something's wrong.
Right. Exactly.
Guard beating second place Donovan Mitchell by 500,000 votes, and yet he didn't make it to San Francisco. How can this issue not be any more obvious to the league? This is going to sound odd because we have not updated this rule in over 60 years, but there should be 36 All-Stars. This would perfectly fit into the tournament format that the league is wanting to follow. Have 3 teams of 12, then find your 4th team by whatever suits your fancy. And argue with the math. With 30 teams, this would on average give each team 1.2 All-Stars, which is still lower than the original 1.8 All-Stars per team. Even with the upcoming expansion teams, this would still make sense and keep the average above 1 All-Star per team, like the league originally intended and even enforced until 1973. Although I'm not saying there should have to be an all-star on every team. And let's think of this from the NBA's perspective. Even if the award seems less rewarding, you would now be able to market 12 more players in the league each year as all-stars. That's not going to hurt the league, the individual teams, or the individual players' egos. That would help everyone across the board. And I can show you what this would look like based on this year's results. For simplicity, I'm not including in eligibility purposes, and I'm just showing you who are the next 3 in line on who would have become all-stars this year, taking 3 from each of the 4 groups of players. We would have added Paolo Banchero, Franz Wagner, Jared Allen, LaMelo Ball, Tyrese Maxey, Jordan Poole.
This is the guy I'm talking about here, Jared Allen.
Oh yeah, he's good.
Yeah, he's an American. He must be the best center, American center in the league.
Wow, okay.
Domantas Sabonis, Andrew Wiggins, Draymond Green, John Morant, De'Aaron Fox, and Devin Booker. You tell me, with the exception of Jordan Poole and Andrew Wiggins, Can you see a world where all of these guys are all-star players? Do they deserve to be all-stars? I myself truly think so. Okay, now what can be done to fix All-Star Weekend? I have original ideas of my own, and I have scoured the internet for other ideas I haven't considered. And I think I have 10 solid, reasonable, and profitable
let's listen
ideas
to
that will
his,
fix this fiasco. Not to mention the idea I have already given you of adding 12 more All-Stars. I'm going to give you these ideas from the ideas I personally like the least, ending with my favorite ideas, although I like them all. If you think of something I don't cover, please share it in the comment section so you can either be berated or be crowned a modern-day Aristotle. Number 10. Add a high dunk competition. The goal would be to see who can dunk on the highest rim. Keep raising the rim until only one person can dunk. This would be a great opportunity to showcase non-all-star talents, freak of natures, and big men. Yes, it would be similar to the dunk contest, but the dunk contest includes a lot of what you can do with your hands and how quickly you can pull off maneuvers in midair. This is simply just seeing how high you can jump and dunk. Number 9, fix the Rising Stars game. Make the Rising Stars game only rookies again. This is how it was originally made, and I think that makes the most sense. By the time a player is a sophomore in the league, if they're going to be a star, they'll be an all-star by now, especially with the 36 all-star format. The last rookie to make an all-star team was Blake Griffin in 2011, and there have only been 25 cases of this ever.
Can you imagine? I thought there was Blake Griffin was the last rookie to make an all-star. Wow.
For second-year players, the numbers
I'm surprised.
So this rarely would get in the way of the Rising Stars tournament format they followed this year, unlike how it did yesterday, where Wemby was eligible for the Rising Stars team and the All-Star team. Within this idea, I think the only players that should be bribed with payouts in the All-Star weekend for winning their games are the young guys on their first NBA contracts. Offering $100,000 to Zach Edey is not the same as offering the same amount to LeBron James. The motivation there would be much different. I don't like the idea of bribing multimillionaires to work hard. It sets a bad precedent. This helps financially support and build a healthy relationship with the rising stars in your league. Number 8, add more dunk contest contestants. 4 is not enough. The NBA dunk contest is one of the highlights of the year, and we only get to see 12 dunks. I think 6 is the perfect number. If you follow the same format, we'd see 18 dunks, a 50% increase. This would also make up for the guys that fail to make their dunks, give more room for error, and make more room for excitement.
I agree with that one.
Separate all-star teams by divisions. Divisions in the NBA mean nothing outside of scheduling. Assuming you have 36 all-stars at this point, there are 6 divisions. Put 6 players on each team, give the winningest divisions in each conference a first-round bye, and have a 6-team tournament. And maybe even include playoff incentives for the winner of the tournament.
Yeah, but there's not enough days. Only one day.
Players from other leagues as the 4th team.
Yeah, I hear him, man. Yeah,
and they can't be playing back to back to back. You know, that's kind of crazy.
There you go.
In the tournament.
Players are
Whether it's
tired.
12 all-stars from the EuroLeague or the winning team from the EuroLeague, put them in this tournament. Put the NBA's reputation at stake, and the NBA players will.
Now, here's where he talks about what we talk about. Let me back it up just a little bit more.
Team in the tournament. Whether it's 12 all-stars from the EuroLeague or the winning team from the EuroLeague, put them in this tournament. Put the NBA's reputation at stake, and the NBA players will play to win and to avoid embarrassment.
I agree.
On top of that, you would have an entire new audience tuning in to support their team/players. Number 5, make the skills competition focus on individual skills and get rid of this PE-ass mini game. Skill competitions could include passing competitions similar to the NFL, a hands competition, where the challenge is to catch passes and possibly see how many balls you can catch and hold at the same time, similar to the NFL. Add a dribbling and defense contest, and my favorite, rebounding. Have a couple of big lads get on each block, have someone shoot to miss, and see who comes away with that rebound. Number 4, 1v1 tournament. This is a pretty well-known idea. The only thing I have to add to it is that I think it needs to be done in separate groups, taking into consideration height. Number 3, keep the tournament format, increase the scoring mark to 75. Hey, geniuses at the NBA, we want to see NBA players play basketball.
You said something?
No, I didn't.
That is what you provide to us. A scoring mark of 40 is ridiculous and mathematically doesn't make sense. An all-star game has not combined for less than 300 points since 2013. The winning team of the tournament should be expected to hit half of that mark. If you have a 4-team tournament format, the scoring mark should be 75. meaning the winning team would expect to score 150 after both games. If you have a 6-team format, it should be 50. Again, the winning team would have to score 150 to win it all. Number 2, host the All-Star Weekend overseas. American NBA fans are some of the worst fans in the world. The atmosphere sucks. We are spoiled with content and athletic events. Draw in an international crowd. Raise the bar for what a fan section should look like. Develop ties overseas for future teams, all while seeing hype we have never seen before. If Paris saw Mac McClung dunk over IKEA, they would set the city on fire. And number 1, give the finals advantage to the winning conference of the All-Star game. I understand it might seem unfair to a team like the Cleveland Cavaliers, who have worked so hard to have the best record in the league, but not all conferences are created equal. It can be harder to win 50 games in the West than to win 60 games in the East. Any player on a team that thinks they have a chance to make the finals, which presumably would be most All-Stars, would be working their butt off to win this game. It would be the ultimate incentive and wouldn't require paying these guys an extra dime.
What
It
did
would
say?
be the first step of the
Okay, so he wants to incentivize winning the game. If you win the All-Star game, right, your division gets the home court advantage in the championship, kind of like what they did in baseball.
Yeah.
Remember the baseball guys used to clock it in the All-Star game, run out of pitchers and all that bullshit. And then they said if you win the All-Star game, the National League will get the home field. If you're, you know what I'm saying?
I don't necessarily agree with that though.
Well, what I'm saying, he's kind of saying that here as well. You know, some similar. But yeah, they stopped it in baseball. I think they stopped.
Because if a team is working its tail off to get home court, you know, and then at the All-Star game they end up losing the home court because of one game, you know what I mean? It's not fair either.
No, I agree. I didn't like it in baseball back when I was watching it because I thought it was unfair to the whole conference. But the games in baseball came like they used to bring the guys that would make the team. People want to see them pitch. They would get the guy out there. Like, say you went and you spent the ticket and you traveled all the way across the country to see Oshani, whatever his name is, Otani, and he throws one pitch or he gets one at bat.
Yeah, you know? that's disappointing. Very disappointing, of course. After that long drive.
Playoffs, which would make
so
many more fans tune in, and fans would actually be supportive of an all-star team rather than supportive of an all-star player. That, my friends, is what is wrong with the NBA All-Star Weekend and how I see it being fixed.
Yeah, so this was I thought that was pretty good for a guy to go through. Oh man, I see Coach Berg, man. There you go, man, Coach, man. Yeah, he just said something. I was looking at the wrong thing. What's going on? How long you been out there, Coach? Hello. Anyway, he'll come on. Yeah, Coach Berg, what's going on, man? Yeah, he's not at the helm.
Okay.
All right, man. So that was that in the All-Star game. What's next?
It was uneventful.
Yeah. The whole weekend was uneventful. Okay, so we saw the slam come. We talked about this guy 3 years in a row. They got to get this guy off the scrap heap in order for him to show up for the NBA. Now, one of the things that nobody talked about is they asked Caitlin Clark to join the 3-point shooting contest. Hey, Coach, if you're talking, you're on mute. And she declined, right? Because they thought they would be able to use her celebrity to, draw fans. And she said, nah, nobody's using me. So she's just doing her thing. So what a reversal, right? The NBA used to subsidize the WNBA. Now they need a WNBA player to put some spice into that damn thing.
Yeah, that's ironic.
yeah, it certainly is, man. Anyway, so that's what else is there? I think that was it for the NBA. Here's this is the All-Star standings right before the All-Star game. I think they resume. They resume what, this weekend coming up?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, they got to. Either if not, if not tonight, then tomorrow. I think they resume.
I think it's 1 week off. They could get back.
Yeah.
I think
So
they off the entire week.
no, they already had. Remember, they get a couple of days before the All-Star break, a couple of days after. So
I think the last game was on Thursday or Wednesday.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So they're either going to be back on schedule tonight or tomorrow.
I think tonight. Yeah, you're right. 1 week.
You know, so yeah. So anyway, man. So here's the thing: keep Cleveland hanging in there. Ain't going to be no remarkable record this year.
Nah.
You know, but hey, but Cleveland is good. I expect Cleveland is going to definitely be bunking to get into the championship without
They should have
LeBron.
home court throughout, right?
Well, they're going to have to make sure the Thunder is tied with them right now.
Okay.
44-10. What else? So we coming down to this. There's not much left, man. I only have.
I think when LeBron left, people said, "Ain't no way Cleveland's going to win another championship." So they might actually be wrong. You never know.
Well, first of all, I never say never again. Okay, so the 3-on-3 tournament for the Honeys is still going on. So if this first columnist lady here, Collier, she won $250,000 for winning the one tournament. Is that you, Coach? You there? Oh, he left. Okay, he fell off.
Let me Rich, before I forget, I have to admit one exciting part about the All-Star game. This
What's that?
kid hit a long shot, and it's like he made a lucky shot. I don't know if you saw that part.
No, I didn't.
He won like $150,000 for making.
Oh, yeah, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see that, man. I missed that. Yeah. So what was from half court?
No, I think it was beyond half court.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so have you seen any of the Unrivaled League, the 3-on-3 girls play?
Nah.
I've seen.
I saw there was a 1-on-1.
Yeah, so 1-on-1 tournament ended this week.
Yeah.
And one lady, she won, man. So it was a long tournament. So she won $250,000.
Yeah. Well, the 1-on-1 I think it's exciting.
Yeah, I should have caught that. I'm gonna try to catch some of it on replay. But here's the schedule. They're going into their final weeks. So 6 teams, and they just continue. They play all the way into March. The championship is in March. Okay. So I saw a couple of games, the actual regular season games. It didn't look too bad, man.
No, I would have loved to see 1-on-1 in the All-Star for the Shaq against let's say Jordan against Kobe. You know what I mean? Like those the stars back in the past. It would have been nice to see 1-on-1.
Yeah, it's a hockey thing. Yeah. Nobody's watching hockey. But I just want to keep the big three still. They're going to have to come back up. I'm going to just have my slide deck ready for them. So we're at the, other sports. Like I said, this was going to be a shorter show. Because, hey, man, no sense in. But I do have some questions. We'll get to them. Hold on for a second. All right, Stephen A. Smith. And I'm going to play a little bit of this thing because I'm going to do a live tomorrow. I'm doing political reaction videos, right? And they're live. So far, I get a little bit of audience for that, during the day, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to do a little reaction to this video where Stephen A. Smith is talking about how he's the number one contender for president on the Democrat side.
He's the number one what? Contender for what?
Candidate for president on the number one they want him to be president.
Stephen Smith?
Yeah, okay. I'll let him say it. I'll let him say it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna do a reaction video to this. I don't know what happened to Coach Ferg, man. His equipment wasn't working.
Things are out of control, man.
Well, the Democrats are down bad, so they're looking hard for somebody to come save them. So,
oh my God, I heard it all, man.
Okay, so anyway, I'm gonna play a little bit because it's a prelim. Because I'm gonna do a reaction video to this tomorrow. But I want to just get a little prelim. And Stephen A. is good at explaining this.
The digital airwaves of YouTube and, of course, iHeartRadio. Let me switch to a subject near and dear to my heart. Me. Because, once again, I'm in the news. And you would think it would be about something else other than what I'm in the news for. But one thing after another has appeared. I had a couple of articles that I had to pay attention to this week. And there is no way around this. So I'm going to tackle it with the fervor that it deserves and let you know what I'm thinking. The Daily Beast last week wrote the headline is Top Dem, a lot to like about Stephen A. Smith's presidential bid. That is House Minority Speaker Hakeem Jeffries, who I hope will be on this show in the very near future. Another article came out this weekend by The New Yorker. Headline, Stephen A. Smith for president, NewYorker.com. Check it out. I must admit, I got on like a lavender blazer with a lavender shirt and a purple tie. I was looking pretty fly, if I should say so. So I just want to throw that out there. Just want okay. And now the latest is courtesy of TMZ. Now, mind you, USA Today, Washington Post, USA, various other publications have written about this as well. Stephen A. Smith, I am not running for U.S. president. This is when TMZ caught me coming out of a Shannon Sharp's party in New Orleans during Super Bowl week. And I guess they ran this recently.
Just up for a second. Hey, Fergman, can you hear me this time? All right, Coach. Hey, listen, man. When I started my channel, when I started my channel, right, and I named it, marriage for relationships, politics and sports, right? Because I said everything's related. So here we are, one of the biggest sports names, who's a front runner for president for the Democratic Party. So I just thought I would show a little bit of Stephen A's talking about this, because tomorrow I'm gonna do a reaction video to this in the afternoon. So I'm gonna probably go live, because he says a lot of stuff. So I've been doing that every so often around 4 o'clock, trying to 3 or 4 o'clock. So anyway, we're gonna let this play just a little bit more.
What's up, Rich?
All
Charles.
right.
Charles.
Yeah, Charles.
What's up, Coach?
Yeah. What's up, man?
All right, I'm hanging in there, man. How are you?
I'm all right, man. He thought about starting this show at 3 or 4. Shit, I'm just waking up at that time.
No, I'm saying I'm all over the place all day, but I have something to do. I need to fill a void.
And I wanted to go there because I wanted to make sure that I put this to bed once and for all. I have no intentions of running for the presidency of the United States of America.
He's lying.
I do not believe I am an aficionado. I do not believe that my pockets are deep enough for me to ignore the financial strain that could potentially have on me, because obviously I earn more than the president of the United States right now. He makes about $400,000 a year. That position there is. Senate and congressional figures make anywhere from $170,000 to $270,000 a year. Needless to say, I make more money than that. And so I'm not really interested on that level. But here's a reason why, while being honest about having zero desire whatsoever to be a politician, because I consider them beggars, donors, campaign donations, sponsors and, political figures. And even when you get into office, you got to curry favor with politicians to get legislation pushed through and all of this other stuff. I mean, it's just no peace in my life. Plus, it's giving you a license because I'm asking to legislate the lives of 350 plus American citizens. That gives you a license to get into my personal business, that I don't want you in that. All of that's true. But there's a reason. There's a reason that while saying what I've said and meaning it, I've often said, even in a half-joking way, if the American people wanted me to be the president of the United States and I knew that I had a really, really good shot to win, I can't deny that it's something I would consider. Let me tell you why I say that. Because I think our system sucks. I think the binary system that we're in, where we have to choose between the Democrats or the Republicans, is a joke. I think it dissuades a vast majority of American citizens from wanting to be a part of the political process. And I think that something needs to be done about it in order to bring America back to where it should have always been. Ladies and gentlemen, I cover sports for a living. Griff, Sherry, Rashawn, everybody listen up, because I'm only going to say this once. It's very, very, very important. Because I know, like I told America before, I've got a bunch of liberals working for me. Some are closet Republicans. They don't want to admit it, but it's true. We got a bunch of liberals working for me in the whole bit.
And Mr. Wishy-washy.
Let me be very, very clear about where I stand. Wes, you need to listen to, damn it. You got a family. Listen to me. Listen when I'm talking to you. Ladies and gentlemen, I cover sports for a living. I like competition. I want legitimate competition between the Republican and the Democratic Party over your ideas of what the country should be and how we can get it there. I hate it when the left, because I firmly believe they politicized a whole bunch of legal stuff against Donald Trump. I'm not questioning the legitimacy or lack thereof. I don't know. You got the 11,000 votes he was seeking in Georgia. You got the 34 felony convictions he received in New York. Some people said it's hush money. Others said, what's the difference between that and an NDA? Damn it, the man cooked up with a porn star and didn't want anybody to know before the election. Oh, my God, stop the presses. John Edwards got loose as a Democratic nominee or a Democratic candidate when he was running for the presidency. He didn't want people to know. I'm quite sure he would have hit it if he could have gotten away with it. Gary Edwards did the same thing. You don't think Clinton tried to submerge evidence against him with the whole Monica Lewinsky scandal? Come on. I think it was politicized to some degree anyway. And I hated that because what I was saying is beat him. Go back to the tapes. Griff, nod your head if I'm lying. I was saying beat him. Don't pussyfoot around. Don't depend on the legal system to wipe him out so you don't have to go against him in the polls. Beat him. What's one of the reasons I think he lost? I think he won because he was saying, you can't beat me. You're using this to get help because you can't beat me on your own. And sure enough, election day rolls around and the Democrats got their ass kicked. I don't want to hear this noise about how he didn't get 50% of the vote. 49.8% he got. Kamala got 48.3. The man won 50 counties and went up in every one of them. He won all 6 or 7 swing states. The black vote, the Hispanic vote, the young voters all voted for him. He won. He won. Because we didn't want to engage in competition on the left. We were looking for the courts to help us. Now we fast forward. And what are we saying here? I'm reading an article right here, New York Times. I'm reading it right here, New York Times. Headline, venting at Democrats and fearing Trump, liberal donors pull back cash. I'm going to read a couple of excerpts from here from you. The small dollar online spigot that powered opposition to the first Trump administration.
All right, so listen, I'm gonna play some more, but I want you guys to tell me what y'all think where Steven is coming from. Do y'all agree with his position or not?
I don't know. I think I agree with the part that we have to choose one or the other. This whole binary thing, I don't think it's very effective. It's like picking one list of two.
Yeah, but yeah, that's one of them. Yeah, okay. The two-party system sucks.
Yeah, but
what about
that, I don't really agree with what he's talking about. He's like, you know,
what don't you agree with? What don't you agree with?
Well, he's saying, I think he's anti-Democrat. He's saying that Trump won. Okay, he won, but I don't see what point is he making. So what? He won.
He's won. Okay, yeah, but okay, Charles. He's coming from the standpoint he did vote Democrat. He voted for Kamala Harris. He's saying that they tried to win by throwing Trump in jail.
Yeah.
Instead of beating him with
fair and square with their best. Yeah. Putting their best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what he's coming from. But go ahead. Coach.
No, I was just gonna say what you were saying, man. You know, we didn't. Well, I ain't gonna say we. The Democrats didn't put their best candidate forward. They didn't do that, and that's what he's saying. Put your best candidate forward because they pretty much knew that Biden was over the hill. They should have had a Democratic, whatever debate to see who could be the best man going forward. Instead, they placed a woman there who's coming with the most egregious ideas according to the American, that was going to be placed upon the American people. The same rhetoric would have been pushed. Nobody would listen. The stuff that they're uncovering, we wouldn't have never thought about it.
Absolutely. But before you go further, he's going to get to that some of those points you are mentioning, Coach. So you're right on track. I was going to play a little bit, but he has a punchline in here I want you guys to hear because this whole thing is only like it's somewhere it's coming up in around 4 or 5 minutes, and then we'll stop it there. But he's going to kind of put it all to bed why he's saying what he's saying right now. So let's go ahead and listen to that because, like I said, this was a short show, and I'm gonna go ahead and.
Administration has slowed to a trickle as shaken liberal voters withhold their donations. Charitable foundations that have long supported causes like voting rights, LGBTQ equality, and immigrants' rights are pulling back the voting time to prepare for expected investigations from the Republican-led Congress. And some of the country's biggest liberal donors, have paused giving, frustrated with what they see as Democrats' lack of vision and worried about retaliation from a vengeful president. Some Democrats say a few of their reliable donors are now openly supporting Mr. Trump, or at least looking to curry favor with him. In another paragraph, it says, while Mr. Trump has not taken action against any liberal groups or lawmakers, Democrats worry his frequent threats of retribution during the campaign have led to a chilling effect on the charitable foundations and nonprofit advocacy groups that have long been pillars of the country's civil society. Jeff Skoll, a Silicon Valley billionaire and a longtime friend of Elon Musk, said there was an awful lot of pressure to side with Trump. This month, Mr. Skoll, who's donated tens of millions to Democratic candidates and causes in recent years, but said he did not vote in 2024 presidential election, posted a photo on social media of himself standing with Mr. Trump backstage at the inauguration. On Friday, he had breakfast in Palm Beach, Florida, with Senator Chuck Schumer of New York, the minority leader, where they discussed the prospect of Mr. Schumer's using Mr. Skoll to back channel ideas to the president. Mr. Schumer recalls the conversation differently, according to an aide, okay? But here's the biggest thing, and I'll stop the reading after this. Quote, there are people who are absolutely against Trump, never Trumpers, who fear that they'll be retaliated against and they'll have to leave the country, Mr. Skoll said. Folks who wish to oppose him, it may take some time before they gather up the courage. But listen to this. The result is a political environment that is strikingly different from 2017 when money poured into Democratic causes, fortifying existing organizations and seeding a flowering of new groups to fight different parts of Mr. Trump's agenda. Now, some of those same organizations are struggling to survive in part because few new major liberal donors have emerged since 2017. Groups that support LGBTQ rights, promote gender equity, and champion other progressive causes have cut staffing and announced that longtime leaders are leaving. End Citizens United, a left-leaning group that aims to overhaul campaign finance laws, laid off its 6 senior staff members last month as part of a restructuring. Run for Something, which works to elect liberal down-ballot candidates, laid off 35% because y'all don't have anybody. If you're the Democrats, that's why Stephen A. Smith is in the news, because y'all don't have anybody. You don't have anybody. Who you got? Who you got? Kamala Harris better not run. She better not run. She's not going to win the presidency in 2028. Keep in mind, respect for her. I'm not going to disrespect the former vice president of the United States. I will never do that. But we got to be real about something here. When she ran for election on her own, she couldn't make it to Iowa in 2020. She ultimately positions herself against the vice presidency. They win the election in 2020. Joe Biden is feeling himself after the liberals won the midterms. And instead of being a transitional president like he promised, the man backstabbed the Liberal Party and turned around and said, I'm staying. They wanted him out. So what did everybody, we all know this now. Boo Boo the Fool can see what happened now. You knew he had lost a step. We don't know what the hell was wrong with him, but clearly his fastball was gone. So you have no primary. You fix it so he doesn't have to face a primary. And then you put him on stage last June 27th for a debate. He embarrasses himself, and 3 weeks later, he has to bow out so Kamala Harris can come in as a Democratic nominee for the presidency of the United States of America at a time when they didn't have any time to put somebody else in to compete with her. You don't overcome that after losing the election. America ain't going to go for it on the left. They ain't going to go for it. Who else you got? Hakeem Jeffries? I personally support Wes Moore, the governor of Maryland. But I don't know how much of a national figure he is. I already interviewed Josh Shapiro. And oh, by the way, to the Republicans listening out there, you're welcome to come on the Stephen A. Smith Show. I'm not one-sided. See, this is why my name is in the election. You hear me, Griff? You hear me, Wes? You hear me, Sherry? You hear me, Rashad? You hear me? The Stephen A. Smith team I'm talking to. That's why I'm in the news. I'm not in the news because I'm here. I'm in the news because the Democratic Party is here. Damn it, lower than that. Down at the bottom. They suck right now. Horrible. Because they don't have a voice. Where the hell is the voice? Everybody want to sit up there and talk about, we don't need a voice. 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 Well, guess what? Somebody got to send the message. How the hell can somebody receive a message if there's no messenger?
Rich, you there?
All right, I was on mute. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
What do you guys think, man? What do you guys think about this, man? I stopped it there because that's the point I wanted him to say, that he's not extolling himself. He's saying that the Democrats are so down low that they're looking for him, a popular centrist, to run for president. Like somehow the opposite man against Donald Trump, who's a man's man. What do you guys think about that?
Well, first of all, Trump's not going to run again, right? We know that.
Yeah, but of course he's not going to run again. But
Okay.
the Republicans are going to put up another man that's Trump-like. I can guarantee you that. J.D. Vance is.
Yeah.
So who are the Democrats going to put out? Another feminine man, or what they're going to try to do? Put another vagina monologue up there? What are the Democrats going to do to send a message? Right? They're going to start talking about immigration again.
If Democrats, if the Democrats want to win, they should try to recruit Michelle Obama.
No, nobody wants to hear talk about it.
No.
You got to be compelled.
No.
Nobody wants to hear another woman sitting here dictating to us about how we should have alphabet people as next door neighbors or girlfriends and boyfriends and shit like that.
Okay, who else do you see was popular? Who else do you see was popular now that may have a chance?
Well, did you just hear what Stephen A. Smith just said? That they don't have anybody.
I'm saying, who do you think? Who do you think is?
The truth of the matter is, I'm gonna say this right now. I think he's right.
You don't see?
I think he's right. I mean, the presidency has almost become a celebrity contest.
Yep.
You know, and Donald Trump wasn't a political figure. He just said, "Shit, man, I'm tired of what's going on. I'm running for president." And then all of a sudden, everybody hates him because he's not part of the party regime.
Yeah, he ain't with that message of, one, let the LGBTQ come into your schools, feminize the world, reckless.
Yes.
He ain't with that. He ain't with that. You know,
He ain't with open borders. He ain't with, you could rob a store as long as less than $1,000 is okay. Nobody's for that shit.
I'm not for that either. That's bullcrap.
But that's what I'm saying.
That's what the Democrats were doing.
Yeah, that's what they was doing. That's what we've been under the last 50 years. Ever since they gave us welfare, we've been on their train.
So the reason why I wanted to kind of juxtapose this is because everybody knows Stephen A. is popular from his rhetoric, but he's been delving into politics for a few years now. And then when he started getting his own podcast, which has over 1 million subscribers now, a lot of his commentary doesn't have anything to do with sports anymore. It has to do with social commentary. So he's being kind of coy a little bit because he's really flattered that people think that he could actually be president. You know, and so when he says, if they ask me, I'm gonna have to really consider it, I believe him. I don't think any man would say, you know, get that kind of flattery from big donors and stuff like that and not really say, I got to think about this.
Yeah, they can call me. I'll consider it.
You know, so I would consider it too. You know, it's true. But I'm gonna you know, I'm gonna probably fool around and do some kind of live commentary about that tomorrow because I came down hard on Stephen A. the other day when I thought he was gonna actually flip flop on something, but I was kind of wrong. Kind of wrong. All right, so just moving on a little bit, real quick. Are you guys familiar with Tito Trinidad?
Yeah, man. He was
Yeah, Felix Tito Trinidad. Man, he's down bad, man. Real bad, man. He made a, you know, for his time, he actually made a good salary as a top boxer. But you know what?
Felix Trinidad, right? Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, Felix, I met Felix.
Yeah, what's going on with him?
He lost all his money.
How? What happened?
Well,
wait a minute. Is that him on the
partying, drinking?
I can't confirm that this is
that can't be him.
I can't confirm that this is him. You know what I'm saying? I didn't put this picture together, so I can't confirm. I think some asshole put this shit there.
I think so too, man. That can't be him.
It could be, but I don't think that. I don't know,
man.
I mean, that's 40 further down than R. Kelly and P. Diddy.
Yeah, man. Some of these guys. So the point really is this. You know what he did, Ferg, Charles? You know what he did?
Yeah.
He gave his money to his father for investing instead of finding a professional.
Okay.
And gave him power of attorney. You never listen, man. The last thing you do is turn. His father probably couldn't rub two nickels together his whole life. What are you giving him your millions for? You know, so he lost all. He's down bad, man.
So why his father was buying stocks?
I don't know what his
father spent that damn money, man. His father
made a lot of bad investments. Spent the money, made a lot of bad investments.
Dang.
Yep. You know, instead of going to a professional, have somebody handle his money. And this is the thing about Floyd Mayweather, because people say he's a functionally illiterate, that he can't hardly even read, they say. But he know how to count money.
You sure do.
He know how to count. He know how to count money. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, so whether he can read or not, man, he knows the universal language.
That's irrelevant at this point.
Yeah, so he, you know, so he's a, you know, so it's just sad to see. So I just thought I'd throw this out there.
Yeah, but I don't think that's him, though. I don't think that's the real photo.
No, I know. That's why I wanted to put that out there.
That'd be too much. That'd be too much of a travesty, man.
Well, first of all, the reason why I don't think it's him is because I think somebody's firing for effect, but that could be him.
Yeah,
there's guys who go down bad.
Possible. I know.
There's guys who go down bad, man. Like my man who was the basketball player, Delonte West.
Oh yeah, that's another sad story.
And that is him. I see him in some pictures. I said, "Oh my God, man." Anyway,
I don't know why his NBA family didn't help him, man. I guess he was out of reach.
You can only help a man so much, Charles.
Yeah, he was out of reach.
Yeah, you can only help him. Okay, so let's go to questions, right? First question. What do you think about Stephen A. Smith being a Democrat frontrunner for the 2028 presidential election? And make no mistake, right now, he's the frontrunner.
Yeah, I think it's pathetic.
Okay. By what? But the Democrats are pathetic?
Yep, the whole party. If they consider him as a front-runner, I think the whole party. I mean, whoever's deciding that, who's making that decision, is pathetic because this would be a joke.
It's not just one guy. It's like almost it's not one, but yeah, you're right though. It should
be a joke.
Well, he even kind of said that in his thing. What about you, Fred? What do you think about
it? Man, just like you said, man, for his name to even be coming up right now, it lets me know that the Democratic Party is full of shit and they're falling apart, and it's probably going to get worse before it gets better.
They're scrambling hard, man.
They'd be
Anyway,
better off if they pick that girl. What's the name? Jimmy Crockett or something?
no, yo, man, you know what? I'm gonna pick you up. You fucking goddamn
Jimmy Crockett.
I'll pick. You think you're stupid?
Wow, man.
You be going off.
We used to drop people down off the panel, man. It's Jasmine Crockett, and then
Jasmine. Just to spice things up, I'd pick her.
Oh, Jimmy Crockett.
If they put that hyena out there, man, hell no.
Jasmine, that's right.
Shit, Jasmine Crockett.
Yeah, I'll pick her over Stephen Smith.
When I hear her talk, it's like fingernails on a chalkboard, man. You know, no man is gonna vote.
You think we stupid? We should be turning them off, man.
So, Charles, can I ask you a question? Because, you know, I've heard you speak over the last few weeks, especially when it came to the election. And now today, you sort of favor two more females. Why do you believe that you favor females over a man?
Well, I think it would be good for the country to have a female president.
Hold on. What makes you? I need to know why you believe that.
Because all the men have fucked up, man. Most of the men so far, they were fucked up. I mean, give a lady a chance.
No,
seriously, give a lady a chance, man. You never know.
Well, hold on. When you say, well, see, now, you know, answer the question. Think about it a little bit more, Charles. I'm not going to jump on you. You can't say all the men who've been presidents fucked up. We had some great presidents.
I'm saying over the past few years, I don't think you know, they've done a great job. I think that give a woman a chance.
Well,
you know?
No, I hear you, but no, we can't do that with the president.
Why not?
We can't do that with the president. We can't just give people chances.
But I think they're qualified.
No, they're not. And I'll tell you why I say this, Charles, because one, in America, we only think about America, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you going to talk to world leaders of other countries, they ain't trying to hear no female. They ain't trying to negotiate. They ain't trying to give up nothing. And that's the way they are. We can't change them. And that's the biggest thing. We believe, just, you know, I'm just looking at what I've seen. We believe that women can lead. Women cannot lead the world. Just my opinion, I could be wrong. However, I'm looking at the history of 2,000 years or whatever. Women are not capable of leading men because guess what? Somebody's going to challenge her.
Yeah.
There will be nothing she could do.
I understand, but there are a lot of other countries that they have women presidents.
And
they are doing well.
Hold up. The ones that have women president, they still rely on the United States to protect them. They small countries, very small.
Well, you got to do some history stuff. We're not saying there haven't been no female leaders, but if you go through history, those regimes don't last too long. And don't give me Cleopatra, because she was just a glorified, you know, she was stroking her way to the top. The first thing she did was cleave to the most strongest man in the other army.
No, you know, lady, I was gonna go call. I couldn't hear anything.
Well, we're just saying, you know what? We might have to come back to this topic some other time.
But seriously, there's a lot of countries right now.
No, there's not a lot of countries. There are countries, and they're not America. We can't compare ourselves with these podunk countries. We're the leader of the whole world, not just the United States. So that some countries have females in charge, but listen, they don't garner the kind of respect that you need as the world leader. You need to be able to walk in the room and command respect from some of the biggest bastards out there. You think Putin and young Uck is going to give a shit about some chick? Or G and all those dudes, man? They look at her, they're not.
Let me tell you, if they're making the right decisions, you know, if they're doing the right thing, I don't mind them being a woman. So that's
well, at least you stick by your guns, brother. At least you stick by it. You're wrong, but at least you stick by your guns.
Yeah.
It's only eight. It's only 8 countries with a female leader. So there you go.
Okay, so we infuse a little bit of politics in here. A couple more questions. Should Adam Silver step down or find a replacement for the NBA?
Oh wow, I didn't hear that.
No,
I'm asking the question.
No, I don't think he should.
How is he going to get them out of this malaise that they're in?
I mean, they just need the NBA. You know, they need to look to what is popular. I would put it out on social media, put some suggestions, or have people write in or some suggestions, and then choose them, and just let people vote on them like they do the All-Star players, and go from there, because they'll get some good ideas. Yeah. Because now I saw that they're going to implement the one-on-one competition. So.
Oh, like the girls did in the whatchamacallit?
Yeah.
I mentioned that last week. I mentioned that because that looks like a good thing. Let me. Yeah, you said something. Yeah, they need to come up with some good ideas. But is Adam Silver the guy and the conduit to bring those ideas forth with the taint of all the shit of being in charge of all the shit that went bad? I mean, the NBA is on the top. This contract that they signed right now is going to be the largest contract they've ever signed. But I don't think it would ever get renewed at this level based on how the players are arrogant, how the teams are arrogant, how these guys, don't respect the fans. And there's a certain malaise on the NBA. Like I said, I think LeBron needs to get the hell out. And so the rest of the league could blossom.
But what do you mean by this guy don't respect the fans? What do you mean by that?
Oh, he had to cut out, man. Yeah, he doesn't respect. He's at the other show he got to go to.
Oh, okay.
At 8:00. But yeah, he doesn't
respect the fans.
Yeah,
who doesn't respect the fans? You mean the actual players or the?
Yeah, the actual players. Well, let me tell you what. Let me give you one example. You got your son with you. You guys been waiting for a certain player to come into town. You pay extra for the ticket, and the day before, with your tickets in hand, or the day of, you get there and find out that player's not playing.
Yeah, but I don't.
Because of load management, right? These guys, instead of load managing and sitting down in a home game, he's only going to show up to your place once in the whole season. And so when they do that away game, that's why the commissioner started finding them. The fan that breaks fan loyalty. I mean, I don't see how you can't see that. If I'm paying extra for the ticket, you the man, you Steph Curry, you LeBron James, you one of these guys, and my ticket costs 25% more because you're coming to town, but nobody tells me you're not going to play in that game. And who's in it? Everybody's in on it, right? The people from the NBA are in on it because you told them. But I'm here losing my money, and you're not playing. I'm gonna feel like that as a fan. I'm gonna be very upset, especially if I have my son with me or my kids with me. Let me tell you, and they do that shit a lot.
Okay.
They do it a lot.
So in a way, you say that it's like a respect to the fan by doing that. I understand.
Oh, listen, man, May Charles, you play basketball, right? These guys are getting paid like kings. Don't tell me you can't play a game.
No. I follow what you say, but sometimes first of all, I think there's a short in the season.
No. You're making excuses. The season is the way it is. If you're not hurt, you should be playing.
I understand that, but I'm saying to you is that for the players to be in optimal shape, they should make it a 60-game season.
I'm paying you. No, because they can't pay them that money if you shorten the season. That's where the money comes from. Right? The money comes from the amount of games they have.
Yeah, because a lot of time, though, by the time playoff time comes, a lot of the players are hurt.
No, listen, you still miss that.
No, I got your point. What I'm saying to you is
that's part of the game. All of a sudden, that matters. People been playing sports forever. All of a sudden,
it matters if the best player in your team can't play.
No, it doesn't. Listen, man, they get paid more. That's why the old guys hate these guys. They played every single game.
Yeah.
These guys were running in the Barclays and the Ewings and all those guys. They played every game
Times have
because
changed, man. I
and
know.
they didn't have the money. These guys, first of all, these guys get paid so much
Yep.
that's why they're arrogant, because they're not hungry anymore.
You know, they're not. I tell you, I agree. They're not.
Not
They
hungry.
already made it. They already made it already. Once you get into the NBA, I think minimum salary is about $1 million.
Now that's why they got rid of Luka, right? They said, you know what? He's only 25 years old. He's already starting to get fat, and we know that he doesn't really like to work out. And so he was up for a super max deal.
About 300, right?
Yeah, 350.
Yeah, they said, nah, we ain't gonna pay you that.
Because we don't like your attitude.
Yeah, they probably were following him to restaurants and shit.
What
did he have? Oh, nah. This ain't no basketball player.
Yeah, man. But my point really is this. It's not like you're wrong by thinking, okay, let me have empathy for some of these guys. But at 30, 40, 50 million, a regular guy, a regular fan who spent his whole check to get to see you, he doesn't care about the fact that you played the night before. He doesn't. You're at his game. I want to see you on the court. Anyway, so that's that. And the last one was, okay, how are you dealing with post? Well, you're not a big NFL fan. I don't know.
You know, I didn't really follow it that much last season, but since I was a kid, I used to watch a lot of football.
Okay,
with Steelers, with Len Swan, Bradshaw. That's how far back I go with following football.
But let me tell you this. I shouldn't have said it that way. The truth of the matter is, I think there's actually like a melancholy that comes over the whole sports, I guess, area when football season's over. You know, you'll sit down and talk to people and say, damn, man, my best season's over. Matter of fact, the other sports show my guy's going to talk about, they're going to go talk about, what are you going to do to fill a black hole with no football in it? Right? The XFL's coming up.
Yeah, that's not exciting. I mean, I never followed that.
The UFL, I think the UFL, I think that's what it's called.
Yeah.
I track that. I'm gonna make it. Of course, I'm gonna make it. Yeah, I haven't watched a lot of games, but I'm gonna track it for the sports show.
Yeah.
You know, other than that, man, I appreciate you coming up, man.
Yeah, man, it's good to chat, man. It's good to kick it and talk about some good stuff.
Yeah, man. I like the fact that there's an intersection between politics and sports and marriage, and when people say, "Well, why you got all that together?" I said, "Well,
politics, I can talk to a politics, but we can't be recorded." You up the air, or you still in the air?
No, I'm still. I'm gonna close the show in a minute.
Yeah.
Right now. What you got something you got to say politically? Hold on. Okay, so anyway, some boxing matches are coming up on this Saturday. This is just better than fight with Bivol. That's going to be a great fight.
Okay.
And then in March.
Okay.
Like, share, subscribe. That's what I need people to do. Fair use. And then we're at the end of the show. And let me do this because I have to just put my little music on to end it. My end of music for everybody to hear. And then then you just stick around for a second. It's only 2 minutes.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, and we can kick it a little bit.
We can talk afterwards.
You got it.
Here we go.
Grab your friends, it's time to play. Join the fun, we're here all day. Watch the game with drinks in hand. On the swivel, let's take a stand. On the edge of our seats, we live for the thrill. In this moment together, we're feeling the chill. So here's to the laughter as we gaze at the stars. We say goodnight from the swivel at the sports bar. In the flicker of the screens where our spirits unite, let's cherish this time as we fade into light. Tasty bites and chasing big screen thrills. Every moment gives you chills, high fives and cheers, it's quite a sight. Join the crowd, it feels so right. As the game goes on, our hearts beat as one. Memories in the making, oh, this night's just begun. So here's to the laughter as we gaze at the stars. We say goodnight from the swivel at the sports bar. In the flicker of the screens where our spirits unite, let's cherish this time as we fade into light. So good night, my friends, till we meet again in this world of the game, through thick and through thin.